Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. We're back at the liquor store I bought last week, and we have a lot of good and bad things going on. This door is broken. There's a whole story behind that, and we'll talk about some of it in this video, but there's some reasons why I'm not talking about the whole story yet, but that will eventually come. We also have some sales information on the liquor store now. And I'm showing the outside of these windows because later on it will make sense once we go inside, but that's another story as well. So basically we're getting a picture of how bad this liquor store is doing, how there are some very simple things we can do to probably help make it better, but it will be very interesting to see how long it takes in the process and if we can make this liquor store good enough to actually make money, which is what the goal is, because right now it is definitely not making money. I mentioned before when I had a couple of videos last week, I did not get sales information from the previous owner, most likely because it wasn't making money, and I knew that. But now we're getting a picture of how bad it is, and we'll have some charts that I've started to make as well, which I've done with my other liquor stores and laundromats that I know some people like and some people don't care for them, but I think they're kind of cool. So, a few things to start off with. Our sales are really, really bad. Like I said, we'll show them to you. But I think a big thing is people don't know it's open. I don't know if you can see it, but there's an open sign in that front window. You can't tell it's on unless you're directly in front of it like I am right here. And then people can't really see the building from the road very well because that old Wiener Schnitzel building thing that's now dilapidated and been vacant for 15 years kind of hides it from view. And then we've got random stuff in the tree as well. So we've got all those advertisements in the windows I just showed you. Can't really see them. Doesn't really help, people know it's a liquor store. And those windows might be causing some other problems we'll talk about. And we have a broken window here, which I think that was broken when I bought it. I knew that, not a big deal. And then, yes, this door window is broken. And actually, we just replaced that glass yesterday. And it's broken again already, but I believe that was the glass installer's fault. So we'll see exactly how all that comes out. Hopefully we can get it replaced again. But again, there's a story behind that that's very, very interesting, and we'll have that soon. But I want to get a few things taken care of first and talk about those before we get too crazy with it. All right. So one major problem that I figured out here. First off, I was hoping I had some cool alcohol here, like expensive stuff. I looked up most of them, not that expensive. And yeah, our employee was taking a picture of the window to make sure the guy didn't say it was something else that caused it to be broken. So we've got cameras, we've got evidence of a lot of different things going on at the store, and we're going to get more and improve that. But for right now, one of the big issues was I was looking at that footage there, and then I was kind of looking at footage from the night crew and seeing, hey, why do we have almost no sales? And when I was looking at the cameras, I'm like, this store looks closed. Is there anybody here? Is it even open? None of these lights work. They have those string lights up on the ceiling because none of those lights are working or the bulbs don't work. And even on the cameras at night, when you think, any little bit of light would shine up pretty bright, it looks closed. So that is not a good way to run a business. And we have so many signs and so many neon lights and so much stuff. And most of it is not turned on, not used. So here were the cameras I was looking at. And I'm like, wow, it kind of looks closed. I wonder what time we close. And this was at like 8 p.m. I'm like, what is going on here? I don't know if my phone shows it as much as maybe it did in person, but if I drove by and I saw it looking like this, and I guess I need to drive by at night kind of see what it looks like too. I have done that before, but I really want to do it again now. It might look like it's closed. And then, I've kind of noticed this a little bit before, but I didn't realize how many of these lights are out. There's barely any working. And so I know they don't even turn the lights off when they're closed at night. They want to leave them on, I think, for security purposes, which, again, we'll talk about that later on, the security that we have for good reason. But man, if it looks like it's closed, if you leave your lights on enough to look closed, and that's how it is during the day, that's not a good thing. And there's even a giant ladder right there that we could be using to replace those bulbs. And looking around, we've cleaned up a little bit, but tomorrow we're really going to clean up a lot of this stuff and get it out of the way because we don't need all this stuff out here. Look at that. A giant box of fluorescent bulbs. So we could put those up. We could also put LEDs up, which might be smart. But looking around, there's shelving all over. There were some baskets for customers to use back here in the back, not up front. I'm like, hey, sometimes if you have a party, if you've got a lot of alcohol you want to buy, it would be nice to have a basket, and there weren't any up front. So there's just so many little things we can do, and we've started to do those, but there's a lot more work to do. I took out a bunch of the plants. I don't mind plants. I like plants. My wife has plenty of plants. Nikki likes plants. But it was kind of weird having a bunch of plants in the liquor store and kind of distracting. So we took all those out. We plan to redo kind of the products and how all those are done and everything. But that's, another process later on. We've got a lot of other stuff to do here soon. So, again, there's liquor signs that could be out. And I talked to the employee about that. And she said they used to put it out, but people would mess with it. And that's why they don't anymore. Here are all the letters for our sign outside. So I definitely want to change some messages on there. And there's our sign right there. I had no idea how to do that or how that works. It's kind of tall on top, but I can reach the bottom part. So I did figure out how they do that. So that was good. We do have that little open sign over there. I don't know if you see it now. Kind of a flag, open flag. And our employee, we have a couple employees, but the main one said she puts that up every morning and then they take it out kind of in the afternoon. So here's the thing that puts the letters up, just like a sticky thing, and it kind of just pops the letter into it and it slides down. So really simple, fairly simple to change that up, so we can do that. But that's obviously not the only thing we want to do with the outside appearance and sign. But I was testing it out here, and yeah, you just slide it up, drop it down, boom. We have an upside down, or no, backwards 9, or an upside down 6. One of the two. But I'm gonna plan on redoing our message tomorrow because our best selection, best service message is not working right now, as you will see from our sales information soon. And yeah, there used to be a sign, that sign you saw on the wall used to go on top there, above the roof, up there. We are going to change the name, so we don't want to put all this stuff back up yet, but that's another process in itself. Getting everything changed over is a gigantic pain, so we're working on that. So I was messing around with all the letters, which of course were not organized in any manner whatsoever, and I was starting to get some of my words together, but I'm missing quite a few letters, but I think enough of them were already up on the sign. We can make it work. So I bet you can guess what that's going to say. So we'll do that tomorrow. We've also got some security coming in tomorrow for the doors that I'll show you as well, and we'll talk about that soon. And then something else people have commented on and talked about is, why are there bags on some of the liquor? And it's because the sun shines in through the windows and hits these bottles and will literally change the color of the alcohol and probably the taste and the quality. That is not what you want in a liquor store. So I was showing the windows in the first part of the video, how they have all those signs and advertisements on them that kind of show outside, but you can't even see any of it from the inside. It's kind of interesting how that works out. But yeah, and we've got all this light shining in on mixers and the Clamato, which I'm like, I really want to see if this is expired, because when I bought my other liquor store, I paid for the inventory. Probably 20 to 30% of the inventory they had was expired. It was crazy how much they had expired, still selling it on the shelves. So after studying this bottle for about 20 minutes, I did finally find the expiration date. And the good news is it was not expired. It was like June 25 is the expiration date. But I don't know if sitting out in the sun, there it is right there. I don't know if sitting out in the sun hastens up that expiration date. I would be willing to bet it might, along with our other stuff in there as well. Now, here was the store when I first bought it. Again, a few minor changes. The horse isn't back. We got rid of some implants, cleaned up. But we need to fix the windows, obviously. That's a huge problem. There's windows everywhere, and the little pictures they have on them don't really stop the sunlight. It's not really tint. It's not helping. There was one window that had curtains on it, but like it didn't cover the whole window, so there was still sun shining through it. So obviously, that is not a good issue if people are trying to buy a product, and it's not good because it's directly in the sun. So that's an easy fix. We can do some things to cover up the windows or actually put real blinds on them. We need to figure that out. We need to fix the lights ASAP. That will get done here very, very soon. I'm going to put up some new ownership signs. I think I actually have a new ownership banner at my laundromat still, but I need to get it down because it's still up. And we've had it open a year now, so I think it's time that the new ownership banner can maybe come down from there. People realize it's not new ownership anymore. And here are the sales I've been talking about. So I broke this up into cards, cash, and total. And we have a whopping 4 days of... we have more data than this. We've got a whopping 6 days of data. It's awful data. It's horrible data, but we have it. So the 21st was Friday. The 22nd was Saturday. And so those are always the best days for a liquor store the weekend. Same as my other store. Thursday really wasn't awful, over $1,000. I mean, it's pretty awful, but compared to the rest of it, wasn't awful. Sunday was pretty bad. It's usually the worst day. But then Monday and Tuesday were worse than Sunday. So it's just not good. Very little cash coming in, very little cards coming in. I've been posting sales charts every single day on social media, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, a little bit here on YouTube Shorts. And a lot of people are like, oh, your employees are stealing from you. That's why you're not making any money. And I never want to make assumptions. I do have cameras. I've been looking at some of the cameras. And honestly, at night, there's just nobody coming. So, yeah. And then here I wanted to show, this is my other store, the liquor store I bought 3 years ago. And we have sales data for quite a bit now. Kind of cool to see. And I actually bought it about the same time of year as this one, just 3 years ago. And you can see we started out pretty slow. We actually closed for a little while. And we're able to increase sales, pretty much double sales from the very beginning. And all our liquor reps and vendors and stuff said we just were doing so much better than the previous owner, and we're doing a really good job, so that's good to hear. And then, so that was nice to see, and hopefully we can do that with this one. But again, there's no guarantees. 2025 is the yellow line, so that was doing better. We had a couple of lower weeks here recently, but it's really, really cold in Colorado at the beginning of February. And whenever it's really, really cold, we almost always have a decrease in sales. It's been really nice lately, and on my daily charts I can see our sales kind of exploded since it's been nicer, so we might see that chart go back up again here pretty soon. But with the other liquor store, I mean, we probably need to be making $2,000 a day to make money, maybe even a little bit more. When you consider rent, I own the building, but I'm paying rent to myself. I obviously want to cover costs on that, margins, all that stuff. So we are off by quite a bit, and that's just to really break even. So we need a lot of improvements. The store I have in Pierce, Colorado, this other liquor store is in Greeley, Colorado, is doing about $20,000 a week. That's weekly numbers you can see there, to $24,000, $25,000 a week in the middle of summer when things go well. So that store is making money. It's doing well. That has less expenses than this store will have too, because it's smaller. Rent's going to be cheaper. It also has kind of half of a grocery store and convenience store with it too, which we want to add a lot of that to this store as well. So there's a lot of things we have ideas for as far as adding product, adding local breweries, adding different options for even cocktail kind of things. Obviously making sure our door's fixed, adding some security, adding lights so people know it's on. It's very important. We have drive-thrus. I had a lot of local people commenting on my social media posts. Most people didn't know it had a drive-through, had no idea. It actually has two, but they just one is working right now. And a lot of people thought it was closed. They didn't even think it was still open. But a lot of people also said, hey, we used to go there all the time. It used to be my go-to liquor store, but they don't go there anymore. So hopefully we can get some of that back at some point, get it doing better, get it cleaned up, get it looking nicer, and then maybe we'll make some money off it. It has a lot of upside, right? If we can get it to be a successful store that makes money, there's a huge upside for the business value, for cash flow value, and that would be fantastic. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work as a liquor store. It's a pretty valuable piece of real estate on a corner with a Wendy's next to it, a Domino's across the street, a McDonald's across the street, a KFC one property down. Maybe somehow I buy the property next door and we have a big corner lot that's even more valuable. That's not my ideal situation, but it's nice having the real estate and business because there's a couple different things we can do. All right, thanks for watching. We'll have much more coming up here soon. Let us know what you think, and we will be back with more.